Today's Wednesday, February 10th, 2016. You're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. The Elevator Radio Show is a proud supporter of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. To find out how you can make a difference, visit their website today, www.eesf.org. Everybody got a short show for you today, so stay tuned. Here it comes. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am sleep deprived this morning for sure. I think I've got a pot and a half of coffee in me, which is much needed. This chilly morning where it seems as if winter has returned to the Midwest and also the East Coast, as snow, I think, hit much of it yesterday. We got a light dusting. So far, we've avoided any snowmageddon type of storms that have been, have hit us. Hey, how many of you out there wonder or question, when did we start naming winter storms? I do not recall, but it seems kind of crazy that we're naming storms. It used to just be hurricanes and tropical storms, but now winter storms all seem to have names. I always feel bad for the people who have the name that the storm is named after, because you got to figure, there's some negative connotivity, I would think, to a storm named James, or when you say, "Hey James, how you doing?" and realizing that James is the storm that's about to obliterate your area. You know what I mean? It just seems like, I don't know. I don't see why they do that. But anyway, neither here nor there. It's just one of those questions that there'll never be an answer to, and I'm sure there will be a winter storm Tom at some point, in which case I will dread that day. Oh man, it is good to be here as early as it is, and do have some articles to cover on the program today. Many of which probably were already covered by anybody who's tracking news articles through Google or whatever your preferential aggregator is. I want to thank everybody who reached out to me last week regarding the kind of the show on safety, and I really appreciate those of you out there who support it, those of you out there who shared or reposted the articles that were posted last week or between last week's show and this week's show. And also, it was cool to see so many of you not aware of the Elevator World's safety site, their mobile program that they have out there. I encourage you to make safety a priority in each and every day, and those that you work with, those that you employ, those that work around you, to ensure that we all go home at the end of the day, which is our number one priority, not necessarily making money for the companies that we work for. So anyway, that's a mouthful, but anyway, that's about it. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I hope everybody's healthy. If nobody is sick, if you're sick, make sure to remember to wash your hands. It's really all the advice I can give you, and that's about it. So everything at home is busy. It's just one of those deals where I do get occasional emails, people asking me, "Hey, how's everything doing at home? How are the kids doing?" Kids are doing great. Not necessarily that's what we are talking about in the program, but thanks for those of you out here that have reached out to me asking how everybody's doing. So anyway, it's pretty much my commentary, 2 cents for the intro. We'll get up into the show notes next, and have you out of here in no time. So I encourage you, as always, to share the article links that you feel are important and that you feel your coworkers could enjoy or could get a some use out of, and because that's the way that we all get better at what we do, is when we learn, when we share the knowledge that we have, and we share the experiences that we have, so that others can either learn or not learn from those situations. So without further ado, we'll get into the news. Have you out of here lickety split. First news article coming to us from Mashable. It is a video of what's titled "A drunk Chinese man kicks elevator doors in, falls down its shaft." This actually was posted over on one of the Facebook pages, but it just goes to show you that Darwinism is at work here, as the world is weeds out those that perhaps are not as smart, or that perhaps should not be on Earth with all of us doing what we all think is correct and right. Next news article: elevator to make every trip more memorable. Washington Post has an interesting article talking about the fact that instead of elevator rides being uneventful, unexciting, let's see here, the creation of the University of the Chinese New Year celebration, a photo booth complete with props has been installed or updated at one of the largest hotel companies in the country. I can't play this. Anyway, it is the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. Elevators, and they have for video presentation set on 6-foot wall high def screens. Last theme in the 52-floor elevators was Little Winter, featuring 5 whimsical vignettes about ice skating. Anyway, interesting. I think it's kind of neat to capture an experience other than trying to feed those riding on elevators just simply advertising or stock ticker information or whatnot. So I think that's pretty cool. So if anybody's been on one of these elevators, I'd love to see a video on that. Post me a link if you have one or know of one. Don't take extra long. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is a accident that occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Or at least this is where it's being reported from Fox 23 News. Apparently people were injured in an elevator accident when, I'm not sure if these were construction workers or who they were, but they apparently brought a long beam into an elevator, which I can only assume they stuck through the elevator ceiling or emergency exit, only to learn very quickly that it was on an angle. The counterweight caught it and literally just, I don't know what happened to the people in it, but it was not good. Crews had to pry open doors on the 20th floor and pull the men out of the elevator. So just a note to self, if you're in the construction industry, do not attempt this. Do not think that you can open the emergency exit hatch if you're not an elevator mechanic or technician. And hopefully that does not. Yeah, so don't take extra long things in elevators. That's my advice to you. A few shows ago, actually a few years ago, we did report on a video or an article where a individual took a 2x4, okay, on an escalator, and literally it got jammed between the escalator step and the ceiling, the overhead, before going up the escalator, taking the person up the stairs. It pushed the escalator step down, broke it, and the guy fell into the escalator and died. It was just awful. So here's a rule. I don't think this is something the ESF needs to be covering or needs to take over or add to their safety list, but as common sense, let's not stick things in holes that we're not 100% sure what is up there. And again, if this is Darwinism in action, then so be it. In Kuala Lumpur, Fire and Rescue Department personnel were called to retrieve part of a severed foot of a child who got stuck in an escalator at KL Central. Oh, awful. Thank goodness there are no photos relating to this, but just a reminder that no matter where you're at, no matter what country you're at, man, There's a proper way to ride escalators. Make sure when you witness those people out there dragging their feet across the comb plate, I've seen it time and time again, to let them know that that is not a ramp to try to, launch you off of the escalator. It's not intended for you to drag your feet. Pick your frickin' feet up when getting off an escalator. Escalators are safe. Elevators are safe. But not when you're dragging your feet on the side of the escalator side plates, or when you're dragging them across the comb teeth at the end of a run. Please. I don't know how to make, I don't know how to get through to people or make people realize. You think that a moving machine like that would be, you'd be a little more careful on it than that, right? Anyway, terrible accident. KMLive.com reports, smell the elevator, no cause for alarm, school says. Apparently, entry hallway at the West Ottawa High School was a result of a motor in an elevator, building academic wing, seized up Sunday, causing a burnt rubber smell throughout the building that sent some kids home February 7th. Just as a notice, some people are much more sensitive to smells than others. My wife is one of them. She can smell stuff that I don't even know what she's smelling. So anyway, everybody's okay, and that's the important thing. Broken elevators make residents prisoners. New York Post reporting a housing building, or a building that houses some elderly people, I should say. Apparently has racked up 58 elevator violations. Is one of the worst violators in the city, and it's tough. So the reality is that while the building's owner, a woman named Bert Mandeville, could not be reached, her husband acknowledged that the elevator is a big problem. He blamed the mistreatment on a legal battle with the building's management agent, who says is collecting rent but not paying any bills and making repairs. He said the issue is currently in court. So it looks as if they're never going to have a working elevator. I don't mean to laugh. It sucks. I mean, I would not want to be any of these people. It's ridiculous that the building owner and the building management company is fighting in court over whether or not. That's a new one. At least there's some kind of answer or response on that, but currently the elevator's down for good reason. And it's going to stay that way, it sounds like, for a while. Whether or not the city or state of New York can do something is a whole other story. Nobody should be a prisoner in their own home. Okay, why Cedar Falls is excited about a new elevator? I do not like answer a survey question to continue reading this content. Why? I don't think so. I don't even have a question to answer. Anyway, well, screw you, people. Not you listening, but screw you, Des Moines Register. So, anyway, exciting news in Iowa other than the, the current election deals there. So anyway, oh, darn it. Have you shopped online with same or next day delivery service in the last month? Who in the world takes this information and, I don't know. Let's answer it that way. Oh, I got another question. Which brands come to mind when thinking about fast delivery and everyday household items? Okay, how should we answer that, people? Next. Can't even see it. Enter your answer. Which brands come to mind? Think about, what branch will you put in there? Elevator radio show. Here we go. Select any of the following services you have heard of. Amazon Prime Now. No. TaskRabbit. No. Instacart. Postmates. That sounds bad. Google Express. None of the above. Okay. Yeah, I love messing with surveys. It's fun, isn't it? Okay, anyway, excuse me. So in light of all the political climate in Iowa, or that just happened in Iowa, they are now focusing on their newest elevator, and it's a pretty cool elevator, which they used some more vintage equipment on it. Unfortunately, they did not. They made it look like it might be vintage, but it's really not. So anyway, yeah, where the bare lumber is being fashioned into repair. Anyway, we can read about this. Link is in the show notes. Feel free to fill out your survey and enter whatever you want to in the survey as well. Okay, next news article. These articles drive me absolutely up the frickin' wall. Okay, WSOCTV.com. 9 investigates elevators operate with serious with serious violations. I'm gonna play this through because I want everybody to get a good feel for how sensationalism is just, there's a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it, and this one seems to lack the right way. Let's hear. So it's in Charlotte. Thousands of other violations. They're far from alone. Oh my goodness. An elevator stopped working and they were inside. Thank goodness they stayed inside. No! Holy cow! You gotta be kidding me. No way. Deeper? You're kidding me. Call the elevator company then. Yeah. Which is awesome. There are areas in the country that don't even do that and they cannot keep up. How many were so bad? Let's go into those. Share some of those. Okay. Good. Okay. That's a good thing. Thank goodness that the inspection department in Charlotte is doing that. I mean, man. Yeah, so that is great. But hey, that sounds really kind of bad when you put it like that, right? Oh, that's, yeah. Okay, so go back to that video and see how many he's holding in his hand. I mean, there's probably maybe 10. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a huge stack or anything, but that. There you go. How is she more careful on elevators? I mean, she should be careful anyway, but the reality is what? So here's the perfect example of how an inspection program and department is supposed to work. You want to go to a different area, some other place in the country, and see how it may not be as easy. Some elevators haven't been inspected longer than every year or annually. I mean, this is what is supposed to happen. Inspectors go out, they find problems or issues, they write them up, some of which require a 10-day notice or shutdown or whatever. You know, it's like, man, this is what is supposed to happen. This is how elevators are safe. You know, go into the accidents in Charlotte. How many have there been? You know, it's like, geez, I hate stories like this. If people could just read through it, because at the end of the day, average Joe Blow, you know, Joe or Sally or whatever, are, you know, think twice and because of this kind of article, think that elevators are not safe in Charlotte. Sigh. Okay, enough of my rant. Okay, next article, advocates for increased safety. We kind of covered this last week on the program, but Pan Pinto advocates for increased elevator safety. Senator Mark Pan Pinto has joined recent representatives from the International Union of Elevator Constructors Local 14 and the WNY Council on Occupational Safety and Health to call on a Senate Republican majority to pass the Elevator Safety Act. Come on, people, get your butt in gear, get this thing passed. Man, I cannot believe the time it's taken to get this thing passed. It's just unbelievable. So I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what the holdup is, but just do it. Just do it, so we don't have people working on elevators that, you know, are also plumbers. Okay, elevator rescues. FireEngineering.com occasionally posts some pretty good articles talking about anything regarding a fire, to be honest. So you can actually log in to read some of the articles that they have. This one, we can get through the ads. Can't do that. Become a member. Has some interesting information regarding elevators. And again, this is not a huge deal, but there are other information in here, other information as well. Lots of information, actually. Maybe too much information, to be honest with you. So, but still good to see information pertaining to elevators, and so that at least in the firefighting community, they're somewhat trained or experienced with that kind of stuff. Okay, theguardian.com. I think we covered this 2 or 3 shows ago. This is a kind of a blog post, not editorial, but regarding a guy and his experience when he fell down an escalator. And all I'm going to read to you is this one, you know, his quote from it, because this says it all, and I don't know how else to sum it up. It says, although it was a very bad accident, it turned out to be quite a good accident. I used to be a big drinker, but epilepsy and alcohol don't mix. Apparently, he was running down an escalator drunk and fell. He doesn't quite remember what happened next. Could have been an epileptic thing or whatever, but still, yeah. Alcohol, escalators really don't mix. I hope we never have to get a safety message like that or warn people that if you're impaired, you may not want to ride on an escalator. Okay, next article from Future Tense. I cannot believe this image that's in this article. Shame on you people. Don't walk on escalators. It's faster if everyone stands. Holy crap. It's got a picture of an escalator with 3, I don't even know what these things are. Some kind of, I think, Chinese New Year, some kind of, like, you know, costume animals where you got somebody in the front and then somebody in the back. And there's 3 of them. I mean, if there were ever a chance, well, I guess they got shoes on, but I can kind of see a shoe on the second person or in the yellow bean. But it's like, holy cow. Yeah, this is kind of scary. Take the elevator. What in the world? They can't even hold the escalator rail. This is terrible. Can you imagine the viral video of these 3 things, costume things, falling down an escalator and they getting caught in the comb teeth at the bottom? Man. Oh. So much work to be done. So little time. So little time. All right, last news article of the program is actually not a news article. Huffington Post Comedy has a blog post talking about elevator technician online training, which is, I guess, kind of a survey type thing, really not elevator technician online training whatsoever. And I'm not quite sure why they posted it that way, but it's a bunch of Q&A questions, and it's quite stupid. So anyway, well, that's going to do for the show, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us. If you're listening to the program through iTunes or through the elevatorradioshow.com website, thanks for doing so. If you're watching the video, Thanks for doing that as well. All sorts of different ways of picking up the program on Facebook, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I want to thank you again for tuning in today. Share those articles with those you think should be looking at them, and that's about it. So stay warm out there, stay safe. Thanks, spring, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.